You are listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? I am Daniel Kooser. This is Christopher Wright. You're here with us on Currently. Welcome to another week. Chris, what's up, man? Are you in World Cup hangover? Or how's it going?
I am, but have you ever introduced me as Christopher before? Is that the first time?
I show you great respect, sir. Sometimes I call people by their long name, just condescendingly. No, Christopher. Jimmy, I'm like, listen here, James.
Only Vanessa says that when she's irritated with me or wants me to do something.
It's when you're in trouble.
Christopher.
You better exactly. The goddamn dishwasher, Christopher.
But no, I'm doing well, man. The World Cup is wrapping up.
It is.
It's going to be France versus Argentina, which is exciting.
Right in the middle of a pretty important Chiefs game, I'd say. Pretty upsetting. I don't know why they would do that.
How dare they? Yeah.
Terrible on Qatari officials and everything. So, but yeah, man, it's exciting time. Soccer in the winter. It feels weird, and I'm loving every bit of it, regardless of whether it disrupts the European schedule and whatnot, because I'm having fun.
On Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which, Vanessa and I was watching a women's Premier League game.
Oh,
so yeah.
What channel's that on?
It was on Peacock.
No
on the streaming
kidding.
service. Yep. So it was Aston Villa versus Arsenal.
Okay.
So it was.
So they stream those on Peacock. I had no idea.
I didn't either until she started watching it. But she was really happy to have women's soccer on during this time.
Well, and there's some, aren't there some U.S. players playing abroad? I know it'll probably take a little time to research those, but I know definitely some people go abroad to play.
Well, there was Rachel Corsie, who played for Kansas City. She plays for Aston Villa.
Really?
She had an own goal.
Oh, boy.
So that wasn't great. Rachel Daly, who used to play for Houston, also plays for Aston Villa. So
she's a quick menace up top.
She is. But Arsenal won 4-1.
Wow.
But it was fun to watch women's European soccer. Gives you something different.
I'll keep a lookout for that, because that's they don't, it's upsetting. They don't advertise that enough. They don't show us when that stuff's on like they do other things. And also that's probably on me. I ought to search that out, and find schedules and stuff like I would anything else, like a concert or a stand-up show or something, So good to know that's going on.
I mean, you know me, I watch about as much NWSL as I can. Even anything that's non-Kansas City Current, I watch it. We have it on in the living room.
Nice.
We'll make an evening of it. We'll just eat and watch an NWSL game. But it was interesting in a lot of different ways to watch women's European soccer. So it's something that I hope to continue to do. It helps me, get used to a lot of the players that are, could be playing in the NWSL or doing big things overseas.
True. That's tough to do. I once tried to do that with MLS games and try to just watch anything that I could. And I was like, where is my life? I don't know. NWSL is a little easier because there's significantly less teams. That's an adorable thing you guys do. I might look into getting on that train, and maybe I'll stop by and bring the pizza or something.
I mean, whatever you cook, you're more than welcome.
Nah, I ain't cooking, man.
Oh,
pizza. I went to Minsky's the other day. You ever eat Minsky's?
I never have.
Not a bad vegan offering, man. I know they use Daiya cheese and Beyond Meat, but their delicious sauce and crust make up for the plastic cheese on there. You know what I mean?
Vanessa had Rudy's. Remember Rudy's here in Lawrence?
I do remember Rudy's. That's a good time.
It's so good.
Not bad at all.
No, we had that. But I'll send you a text next time we're watching some soccer.
Let me know. Let me know if it's on. I make time for all the WWE pay-per-views. I think I could make time for NWSL soccer, or Premier League. So
right.
Man, we would be remiss if we did not speak on the untimely passing of American soccer journalist Grant Wahl. Let's get the sad stuff over with here, because at the end of the day, it is sad. The man was 49 years old. It was revealed today, I believe, Wednesday the 14th, that I don't know the scientific word, but basically a blood vessel burst near his heart. They use the word aortic something, so I know that has to do with heart stuff, science. But, I'm trying not to make jokes here, but I'm trying to act like I know what I'm talking about. People thought this was foul play, an assassination against a pro-LGBT person. Glad that that's not the case, and we're not fearing for our lives when we travel. But it's just sad, man, because you see all these stories popping out about Grant Wall, and I did not know him personally. He was on my short list to try to have as an interview on the podcast sometime. But everything you see online, everyone's just sharing great things. I mean, no one's going to share mean things. That would be a ridiculous thing to do. But all this outpouring of support, and it just shows you, like, I wish why don't we all just support each other right now before we're all dead? You know what I mean? Why can't everybody love everybody and tell them how good they are and how bright they make your life now? So, Chris, I'm not gonna be around forever. So thank you for making my life bright. I appreciate you.
I try, man. I do my best. But
there you go, buddy.
It's a very tough loss because Grant was one of the first people. He was an early adopter of covering women's professional soccer. He covered it in the same way he would cover any other sport, with the same level of professionalism and passion. And, I don't think women's soccer would not be what it is today without his coverage. Chris and Angie Long, in their statement, said there might not be a Kansas City Current, or there wouldn't be a Kansas City Current if it wasn't for Grant Wall, because as a lot of people know, he's from the Kansas City area. So when the Longs were thinking about buying a team, they reached out for his guidance. And that's what that was about. But it's such a huge loss. But most importantly, I wish his family the best during this time. There's not much to say.
It's terrible, man. I think about stuff. I think about death more than the average person should. It's always been a fear of mine. I remember when I was a little kid, I ran out of my room crying and went into my mommy and daddy's room and just was like, I don't want you to die. And they were like, what? And I was like, you're going to die. That's probably very spooky for your kid to run in and say that shit. But
I would shut the door. I would put it up.
But ever since, dude, I think about it often, and it's something I've talked about in therapy. And of course, they're like, well, do you have a relationship with Jesus? Because that could be a problem. And I'm like, nah, it's a different conversation, bro. But it is scary. You think about your loved ones, and you're like, I think about his wife, and they're not old people. They're important people. They're young people, healthy people. We ain't healthy, dude. Ain't none of us healthy. A freaking virus just came around and wiped a lot of people out. We're all in trouble. So, I mean, hug everyone as many times as you can, and just be freaking kind. It doesn't take much to be kind, and it takes a lot of effort to be a dick. So
you never know what somebody's going through.
Nah, man. Grant's going to be remembered. He had no underlying health problems or anything, and it's just some freak thing, apparently. So much love to his family. And as I'm going to, let's do a whirlwind transition to an NWSL report that came out in timely fashion for this podcast.
It came out, 3 hours before?
I think I hit you up right away and was like, we were worried about talking about stuff today. What? Not at all, my friend. We got things.
By the way, how many reports have we had to talk about at the,
It's kind of upsetting when you put it like that. It's like these reports shouldn't even have to be a thing. Like, you're glad they are. They need to be investigated, right? But I wish there was not a need for the investigation process.
It just shows you, in a way, how far we've come, but in a way, how far we have not come.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much more to go. I didn't, a lot of people were like, wasn't this report like months ago? And it's like, this is more. Like, relax. This is new stuff. Sorry to blow up your feed about misconduct. Sorry to take you out of your everything is perfect bubble on Twitter, but this is serious shit. What's your first reaction to this stuff, man? I sent you a big long ass email today, and you didn't give me much. You just said, whoa.
Well, people may not know, but we record this after work. Yeah. So we don't. I don't have a whole lot of time to research as much as I would want to, but it pisses me off, man. It's just I was thinking about what I wanted to say in this moment, and I'm just disappointed, and I'm angry. I'm angry again that here we are. I'm disappointed because, to be completely honest, I thought this would never come from the Current. I thought our team, in everything we've done to move forward women's soccer, we would not be in this situation. I expected this, to happen with the Portlands and the Chicagos and the North Carolinas. I did not expect this to come from Kansas City. So I'm very disappointed. And there's a lot of things we're going to touch on that is kind of systematic, I guess, but it just makes me angry, man.
You mean
systemic? Yeah.
Systematic? I don't know. You sound like Grease Lightning.
I don't know. It's I'm angry.
I feel it, man. I feel you. It doesn't. It's correct me if I'm wrong. Sounds like Hugh Williams is not the best person. Is that because he spells his first name with a W at the end? Like, we should have known. We should have known he's not a good person. No one spells Hugh like that.
Giveaway? Was that a giveaway?
No one spells Hugh like that. It's very weird. No, jokes aside, I only joke because I'm uncomfortable. That's what I've always done.
That's what he does.
And I don't know where else to go from here. Buddy, what's the first thing you point out? Like, I think about, I'm reading things that he retaliatory statements and actions, similar to like being in an office setting. If you bring up a concern to your boss, they find a way to get rid of you or move you to another team. You know what I mean? And so players said that they truly believe they were traded immediately after speaking up about something or asking questions because they spoke up. Like, there was even one quote that someone said after the meeting. They said, "We all knew we were going to be traded." Holy shit.
That just goes to show me that this is not just on Hugh. If this happened,
is it the Longs? I mean, the Longs hired Hugh.
I mean,
he's their good friend, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it starts and ends with them, right? They're the owners.
I mean, we don't work for the club. We're not biased. I can't sit here and say Angie and Chris Long have never, had a bad moment. I don't know the people. From what I see, they're great. They're nice. But did they mess up? Have they messed up by keeping Hugh Williams on the staff right now? Like, when this came out today, shouldn't they have let him go 30 minutes later?
When they knew about some of these things in 2021, they should have let him go.
That's when it should have been. Instead, they were like, stay on the staff. Yeah. Be our scout. You won't even deal with players. You'll deal with prospective players.
And this is one of those things where his production and his role is so good outside of a head coach in that player, personnel, talent, scouting role. He is so good that, on the surface, it looks like they put up with it because of what he offers. And that should have never been the case. I mean, cussing at the players, all sorts of derogatory things, that should have been the first sign that he needs to go.
You know what's bad? Like, the world has come so far, and things that happened to like me as a football player when I was younger, those things cannot happen anymore. They cannot. I remember at a football practice one time, one of my buddies messed up, and we had to practice on a ranch because we didn't have any freaking field to practice on. We were on this ranch one time. He made this young kid, I'm talking, we were 5th, 6th grade. He made him do push-ups and fucking horse shit. You think I'm kidding me? He made him put his face mask in the shit. And I was like, at the time, I was like, this is messed up. This is bad. Players that are like hitting the heads of, or coaches that are like hitting the heads of players and stuff, just cursing at them, young children. Well, that doesn't even fly for adults anymore. You can't say that. You can't say, quote, I'm going to ream her ass or tear her a new one. You can't say that to a man or a woman. It's wild. I can't be like back in my day. You know what I mean?
Anybody who played sports who's kind of our age probably has a lot of stories about dealing with something like that or worse. I think when you watch something like Hard Knocks,
yeah,
and how things are different, and it's acceptable there, for the lack of being honest.
It's acceptable.
It's acceptable in NFL and like the NFL and men's sports, right?
But it also shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
that's
be.
A whole other conversation.
Right. It is, but it shouldn't be. But the Longs and the front office knows it shouldn't be. Like, they got their team with a lot of these investigations going already. They know that everything they're doing is probably scrutinized to a degree, and they know better, and they should have done something differently back in 2021.
Well, and that's the thing. If you say that it's like, if we were to say that it's okay in men's sports, then it has to be okay for women's. And we're not even having this conversation. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not okay in women's, and it still shouldn't be okay in men's. And that's just a whole different story. We monetize it and watch Hard Knocks every year, twice a year now, because we're freaking junkies. But it's this whole thing. I've got it all pulled up on my computer right here, man. And it's a lot. And I'm not even going to try to read this. So I'm just kind of picking things apart here. What else? I mean, what people, they said that they, people feel that there were certain reasons that since they participated in a meeting, that they were traded, waived, or not re-signed. And that's just like, that's also workplace culture, man. In the offices and stuff, sometimes you feel like you can't speak up. You can't be honest for fear that retaliatory action will happen against you. And it's at the sport level as well.
Again, I agree. This shows me that it's not just on Hugh Williams. And I'm not trying to go after Chris or Angie or anybody in the front office. I'm really not.
Yeah,
but
you have to. It's their team.
This goes beyond Hugh Williams, right? And if it is truly retaliatory, then, that needs to be investigated. You cannot have a workplace in which people are afraid to speak out and which are afraid to report behavior that's not acceptable without fear of retribution. You cannot have that. And, it shows that the players were right in voicing their concerns, and then they were waived, cut, traded. It's tough to hear because, again, man, like, I really felt like we were different, not above it, but we were just different, right? A new team approaching things the right way. And it really hurts to know that, we're not different.
You mentioned other teams, Portland, North Carolina, whatever. How long were people online or whatever clamoring to get Merritt Paulson to sell the club, sell the Timbers, Merritt Paulson, sell the Thorns, you know what I mean? Sell them. And it just nonstop, sell the Timbers, blah, blah, blah. Is this a sellable offense here? Is this like telling Chris and Angie Long to sell the freaking team because you let people down? Is it that bad? Or am I like,
I think you're getting, no, I don't think it's that bad. Because this, I mean, it is bad. It is bad, but
let me just set you up for failure.
Yeah. Do they need to go? Do the Longs need to? That's basically what you're asking me.
No, it's not that bad. It is bad. Hold on.
It is, because the other one was, sexual abuse type of allegations.
Sure.
And this is just,
there's levels.
There's levels. This is a different level.
I get that.
I think this is a wake up call for the Longs as well, that they are not above,
Sure.
The type of, in our opinion, nepotism a bit that Hugh Williams got. They're not above the criticism here. They're not above the fray.
It'd be wild right now if like we had Chris Long ready to come on. Our producer Tucker's just like, Chris Long is here. We're like, oh shit. A little guess what's behind the curtain. We'd be all mad. I'm sorry, you think I need to sell the team? We didn't say that, Christopher. We didn't say that. Dude, another thing, a player got a red card, and I guess a player on our team was asking Hugh Williams, how do we adjust the formation? Asking you to coach, asking you to do your job. Right. And Hugh Williams says, quote, "Are you fucking serious? Just get out there and play." This is why people think it's a children's game and it's just kicking a ball. When a head coach tells you just get out there and play, then what are you getting paid for? Like, we're asking you about tactics and shit. What are we paying you for? I don't get that.
What's even worse is after he told the player just go out there and F and play,
Yeah.
The assistant
You
coach
can say
came up.
F-bombs, bro. It's in the report. You can say it on here. We got the explicit tag, man. We got the KCSN glow up.
Am
Come
I gonna
on.
be? Am I gonna be bleeped out?
Bleeped out? I hope not, or you'd never hear me speak.
But an assistant coach went to go give that player instruction to do Hugh Williams' job, and Hugh told that coach to go sit the fuck down.
There it is.
I don't know if it's a quote, but effectively
that?
to go sit down.
It's quote.
Okay, to go sit down. So, I'm just disappointed, man. That this should not be the case.
Then he says, I'm going to ream her. I'm going to rip her a new one. I'm sorry, Hugh. A new what? A new butthole is what you're saying. Well, there's some sexual assault right there. I'm just like, what? You can't say that stuff to guy, girl, anything. It's just, it's not the same anymore. You know what I mean?
These are professional athletes, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not children. These are pros.
And they're not getting paid like it. They are not getting professional athlete pay.
They are getting $20-some thousand in some cases to go be cussed at by a coach that's telling them to go play.
They have to go promote butcher shop cuts of meat. They have to go be an assistant coach for the KC Comets. Jenna Weinbrenner, congrats.
Uber drivers.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Uber driver to make some extra money.
I'm only laughing because I'm sad. Like, it's just, it's not okay. And how do you change that? How do you change this pay structure in women's soccer? Women's sports in general. I don't know. Don't come at us, people, and say, well, people don't attend these games. That's bullshit. People attend the games. I don't know, man. I'm heated, right? I got my blood pressure's up. My face is all shiny. I can feel it.
And there's also a bit, and I don't have it in front of me. I went over it right before this.
I got it.
You got it all? Okay.
What are you talking about?
The players had a meeting with the Longs and talked about Hugh Williams' behavior. And then, during the Longs, during a report, or when they sat down with investigators, effectively, they said that, players voiced their opinions on Hugh Williams as a person with his language and how they were being treated, and then just tactically as a team. And the Longs effectively said that they were not aware of, or they were not aware of how the players felt about Hugh Williams, but just how they felt about like tactics and their lack of winning.
That meeting, though, that you're talking about by mistreating players who complained and by taking actions to remove them from the club, is that right? Because they're saying multiple players who had participated in the meeting were traded, waived, or not re-signed. My God. Well, don't have a meeting with your boss's boss, because you will be shipped out to the Himalayas. It's not good. You'll go to Gotham or North Carolina or something where life is worse. How about this shit right here? Chris and Angie Long, they pretty good buddies with Hugh Williams. I don't know. He was the manager of the Long's daughters' youth soccer club. So their players say that affected the players' ability to report misconduct because they knew he was good buddies with them. So why would you report it? I would not feel comfortable doing that if I know you guys are pretty tight. I don't know.
I remember when Hugh Williams was named the head coach, Chris and Angie said that they could not think of a better first head coach to bring in than Hugh Williams. And that was their first choice. So
one player said Williams bragged that he was the only head coach in the league who could lose every game and not get fired. Oh my God. How much of a cocky piece of shit do you have to be to say something like that?
I was actually looking up that quote and I was going to bring it up and you beat me to it, but you're absolutely right.
Who goes to the office and they're like, I could take a dump on my boss's desk and not get fired? What? No, you can't lose every game. He was too safe. And I don't expect him to be with the club much longer. I really don't. And this terminates friendship. Oh, it's your good friend, Chris and Angie Long? Not anymore. He blew it. Friendship over.
As of this moment, the Current have not released anything. I know a lot of people have reached out to them for a statement. Obviously, they're probably processing everything. And
our friends at the Blue Crew, real mad.
They are.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, they don't put up with this type of stuff, man. For them, player safety and player well-being is number one, as it should be.
Yeah, man. It's wild. Like I said, I'm laughing because it's absolutely ridiculous that I'm just, when these things come out, dude, you're kind of like, not us. Like, it's not gonna, we're good. Nothing's gonna be bad about us. And then you see us and it's like, oh shit, hold on. Fuck. We're just as bad as some of these other places. Not good. Not great.
And I do think that the Longs, to a degree, we'll see how they redeem themselves in a way, right? Because we want to give them the opportunity to make a statement and talk about what they're going to do differently. And I think they deserve that. I think they've, in a way, they've
Yeah.
you know, they've done a lot for this sport. In a way, they've earned the opportunity to continue in this specific area, the opportunity to right some of these wrongs. Although you can't right a wrong of waiving a player or trading a player,
No.
right? You can't
deal.
right that wrong. It's already happened. That ship has sailed. But I'm interested to see how they approach it.
Well, I'm interested to see, and that news will never come out, really, right? You'd like to see if a player came forward and was like, it was me. Like, I admit it, that was me that got shipped out because I spoke up, punish people who speak up. That's how it goes. I will tell you, God dang it, dude. I had something in my head and never mind. I got nothing. I blew it. You ever do that? I knew it. I had something and then
I don't know. Like, I'll be thinking of something. I'll be talking to you during a podcast. My brain will be thinking about something entirely different.
Yeah.
It's like an out of body experience. I come back and I come back into my body and I'm like, what the hell am I even talking about?
That's just
how I am.
This is a real concern. You should talk to somebody.
And I do that with non-podcast stuff. So it's a me thing, but I'll just come back and be like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Hey, I had a real you moment last night. You had texted me and I was at dinner and I forgot to respond. And this morning I was like, oh man, I pulled a Chris.
When you don't respond, I was like, is he mad at me? What did I do? He didn't respond within an hour. Like, is everything okay?
Because I'm usually pretty good. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hilarious, dude. I feel that this is a big deal. I'm surprised that Casey Current hasn't put anything out, I guess. I mean, they sent to media, they sent the report, right? And the link and everything like that in an email. But other than that, there's nothing spoke on this. I'm excited to see what Blue Crew put together because I know they're going to make some kind of statement. And that they don't have to either. Like, no one's like, make a statement, but they, it's cool that they are. You know what I mean?
The supporters groups in the NWSL are so vitally important to holding people accountable.
Yeah.
Because with supporters groups, you actually have leverage with teams. You could advise people to not renew their season tickets.
True.
You have a voice.
You have influence.
You have influence. I'm not saying that here. Don't get me wrong, but they do.
Are you telling people not to renew their season tickets?
No, we already did.
Oh yes, we're good. They got our money. We're good.
Yeah, they have it. But they have influence, and I'm interested to see what they come up with.
Yeah, and it's so difficult, right? Like, I know we've had all the support of the club. They love us. Pretty much say we're their favorite podcast in so many words. And I feel that, it sucks to like speak your actual feelings, but that's what we're here for, right? To be honest, to be unbiased and really talk how we're reacting to this. Like, this is real life. I'm not going to be like, well, Casey, let's hold off on our judgment. Nah, man, we're here to react for real. But I will tell you, I remember what I was going to say. This movement of misconduct and whatnot and investigation, it changes how people are going to coach going forward. Let Matt Potter have the gall to be like, I'm going to tear you at a piece of licorice. He's going to have, they got to change their mindset and things that they would say. Like, you're just take it back. You just can't do this anymore,
that just goes to show you how important these investigations are. And you know, it's tough because you don't want these players to have to deal with what they've had to deal with. And I'm talking about prior to current too, or any team, right? Like they've had to deal with worse. This is bad, but they've had to deal with worse. And over time, things have honestly shifted for the better. And this is one of those building blocks that I hope 2 years from now, year from now, every NWSL or women's team, college, pro, whatever, what have you, can learn from. And I think nothing's, I just hope we learn from it.
I do too. And I don't know if I'll read this whole thing, but I get, I've been doing a lot of skimming today. Cause it's just a lot, right? It's a lot of stuff, talking about club policies, compared to that's inconsistent with NWSL policy. Here's something in bold, actually, I want to read, and tell me if this is worth responding to here. The Currents Employee Handbook states that employees, quote, should not be employed in positions with supervisory responsibilities over the work of any family member or other person with whom the employee has a romantic or similarly close relationship, but it does not clarify if this applies only to relationships between club employees or whether it also applies to relationships between club employees and players who are NWSL employees. It also states that exceptions to this policy may be granted by ownership or the chief operating officer if, in their sole discretion, it is determined that the close relationship is not likely to cause actual or perceived conflict or favoritism, which is inconsistent with the NWSL policy. I don't really know what to take away from that. A lot of times I read big words and I'm like, someone make it make sense for me.
I feel like you need to be a lawyer to break that down for me in layman's terms.
Hold on. Side note. I played a lawyer in a play one time. That's right. I was Santa Claus's lawyer in Miracle on 34th Street. I got him off the stand, but I had this whole long monologue of legal jargon, and I just could not memorize this shit. So I had a book that I was reading from. I started writing my damn lines in that book because I was reading from this book of law. It was cheating, and I didn't care.
It's
big words.
They just throw things at you and expect you to be able to break it down. But I'll tell you one thing. I saw a tweet here recently that only 2 clubs, the Gotham and the Spirit, referenced the NWSL anti-harassment policy in the employee handbooks. So only two teams referenced the NWSL anti-harassment policy.
Interesting.
And you would think they all should, right? Like they should all, be on the same page. You can't play by different rules. You can't have one team's policy is this way. The NWSL policy is that way.
Everything is so uniform these days, even from like social media. Do you ever see teams like tweet out the same shit because the league has told them to? And it's like stuff that us as supporters just don't care about. And I'm not talking just KC Current. Sporting does it. Other teams do it. And you're just like, what? Don't tell us about this game that's on Fox Sports today. We don't give a shit, but they have to. They're licensed to do that,
Right.
It's just a wild time. Where to from here? That's a big breath. Big breath you just did.
Because I was like trying to think, where do we go? And you just asked that. And I don't know, but I think at this point, this came out right before we basically came on. We haven't had a lot of time to research, digest, see how things play out and how they've been broken down. So this is an emotional reaction from the both of us, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see, I want to, calm myself down, first of all.
Calm it down. It's getting warm.
It is. And just kind of, give it a little bit of time, see, what the Longs say, see what happens if they let go of Hugh Williams, which I don't see how they don't at this point.
They
kind of have
They're just like, well, he's our friend. So he's going to stay. He's going to be a janitor at the facilities. He's going to clean toilets now.
I mean, the women's soccer community, they don't mess around.
Right.
Heads will roll in this.
He should have been fired when they had the players doing all that karaoke business on the big jumbotron at the baseball stadium, and he came in and did karaoke to some Kelly Clarkson song, and we were like, Get him out of here. That's bad. That is bad singing.
To be fair, if you make me sing Kelly Clarkson on the big screen, I will be terrible.
You'd get it. You'd be fine.
I think you have too much confidence in me.
You don't have musical
I have
bones?
none.
Really?
Zero. None.
Did you ever play an instrument or anything?
None.
What? What'd you do in school? Then you had to do something.
I didn't sing or play an instrument. When I'm in my car, I turn up the music so loud I drown myself out on purpose. And
that's true. You're very into like Russian metal bands and stuff. But no, I feel like in elementary school they're like, do you want choir, orchestra, or band? You didn't do any? You were just like none.
The only time I think we all had to when we were younger, your parents would show up and watch you sing. I lip synced. I did not sing a damn thing.
You didn't sing?
I didn't sing.
You let your parents down. That's unbelievable.
I let everybody down.
They came to see you, and you were like, watch me mouth the word watermelon over and over.
They knew my capability. They're probably happy I lip sync. I did everybody a favor.
It's too bad.
Not everybody has the pipes and the musical ability like you. I watched you.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it. I watched you sing in a musical.
Yeah.
Of the Addams family.
That was me.
And you
Gomez Adams over here.
You crushed it. You absolutely crushed it.
I had to darken the mustache. I don't know if that would fly for me to do that these days because he was a Spanish man and I am very white and had to darken my mustache.
You're like Scarlett Johansson. You can like play anything.
Shit.
You should think you can play anything, rather.
You should have came to Rock of Ages. Let me just tell you my bio here. When I was the Tom Cruise character in Rock of Ages, hell of a time. Just a freaking heartthrob. But man, I'll tell you that's the report. I don't have much more to say on it. Do you?
I just want to. I'm in a wait and see approach right now. Just want wait and see.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Something will probably happen today. Casey Kern will put out something. The Longs will say something. Maybe even if you're listening to this today, probably last night. We don't know. So things are weird. I was feeling pretty cool about not being named and things like this, and I'm more mad that we were. I'm like, God damn it! I had that going for me. It's like when COVID was around, and it's still around. What am I saying? And you didn't catch it, and you're like, feeling pretty good about not catching COVID. And now it's to the point where if you haven't caught COVID yet, what the hell's wrong with you?
I haven't got it.
Yeah, that's insane.
To my knowledge, I haven't got it.
How have you not had it?
I've been vaxxed and boosted.
So that doesn't matter at all. Marissa's vaxxed and she got it.
I got lucky. I don't know.
It just happens, man. I went to Royal Rumble like a dum-dum. I was vaxxed and I got it.
You showed up to a rec soccer game right after, if I remember right.
I know. Probably got y'all sick.
Yeah.
Terrible. How disrespectful.
Just quickly going back to it, it's at the best, it's just, here I go. I had a thought. I have an out-of-body experience. I come back and I'm like, what the hell am I talking about?
Get back in that body, baby.
But, at the best, it's a miscommunication, or it's something that was just poorly done, right? They should have acted on something. Maybe they didn't know how bad it was. I'm giving them a little bit of an out, but that's probably not the case. But that's best case scenario, right? Worst case is they just didn't care how these players are being treated, and they chose their relationship with Hugh Williams over player safety, and that's worst case. That's worst case.
Yeah, if you gotta build us up a little bit, I guess you could say at least he wasn't sexually abusing them.
That's a low bar. That is a really low bar, sir.
If you want to find any kind of bright spot in this, that's what you have to say. At least that's not happening here. You know what I mean? Because it is happening, which is insane. But hey, not in Kansas City, so go us. Am I getting canceled? Is that bad?
I don't know. But
is that bad to say? Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know.
Okay, you're shaking your head. You're doing the Jimmy thing where you gotta sell me out, and I'm like, did I say something wrong? Do we got to cut this?
I just hope they learn from it, because at the end of the day, it's already happened, right? Like, you can't go back and change anything. You just fix it from now and do better moving forward.
These are employees, and they shouldn't have to think about this stuff on a daily basis. Like, they have to work, and now you get to be stressed out and be like, am I safe at this job?
Let me ask you a question. If you had to deal with what they've had to go through at your job,
your job, I'd be looking for new jobs.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'm done. Doesn't matter.
I mean,
you're in a contract with your profession and passion to continuously deal with what they have to go through.
True. You just can't find another employer.
You can't
just can't go on LinkedIn and see. Yeah,
I'm going to go play soccer with, I almost said the Courage. That's not.
Is Orlando hiring? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You have to deal with it. They're contractually obligated to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's what's fucked up.
It is. Yes. Oh, man. Chris drops F-bombs. You guys feel it? That just,
I'm on a roll. Warms. You tell me I'm allowed to. You do a couple.
It is cold outside, and you warm the cockles of my heart when you say stuff like that. It's down, maybe below the cockles, down there. I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but I'm going to try and refrain a little bit because I'm going to get too crazy, wild.
Crazy. Shit. All right, let's wrap that up. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with it. You done with it?
I'm done with it.
Cool. Moving forward, holidays are on the horizon, man. I think we're probably wrapping this episode up, and we'll have our little Christmas episode next week and go from there.
I'm going to give you a quick shot of positivity, though.
Oh.
Because I feel like we need it. We've talked about
Put
Grant.
It in.
I have looked at what other teams have done during the offseason, right?
Okay.
What kind of players they've re-signed or brought in. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I think at this moment, and it's early, but at this moment, the Kansas City Current are winning the offseason.
Okay.
It's early. It's early.
Is that for real?
I think so. When you look,
that's a real statement.
Yeah, I think when you look at what players have been re-signed or what free agents have been signed to what teams, I think you have to give the edge at this moment to the Kansas City Current with Morgan Gautreau, which I'm definitely pronouncing it right after you called me out last episode.
You got it. You crushed it.
And Vanessa DiBernardo. Those two signings at this moment, Kansas City Current are winning the offseason.
Cool, man. That's great. I mean, it's crazy. You can just take two players from I guess, geographical rival and call yourself enhanced, improved. You know what I mean? We've enhanced ourselves with two of Chicago's players, and that's kind of cool.
Two of their better players,
Oh, 100%.
If Gautreau can stay healthy, she might be on the national team. And Matt Potter has done a great job of putting these players in a position to succeed and allowing them to do what they do best. And if he can do that with Gautreau and Bernardo, and if Gautreau can stay healthy, we might have, another national team player in the mix.
Butcher Brookside, dude. Absolutely. Very cool. All right, man. Well, we can wrap it up for the week if you want. You good with that?
I'm good.
Sweet. Thank you all for tuning in every Thursday here on Currently. We, pretty young podcast here, but excited to get things going on KC Current's third year and breaking things down all the time and talking to players, coaches, whatnot. So feel free to leave us ratings on Spotify, reviews and ratings on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Special thanks to our producer Tucker Franklin, and we'll see you next week with more Teal Talk and Current Rising and all that stuff. So we love you so much. Have a good one.